joined this evening by the successful playwright and author, whose latest trilogy, Angels of the Battlefield, about the lives of early pioneering women in the field of medicine, have won such acclaim. It has been made into a 3-part television series coming out later this year. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Catherine Romilly.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Welcome, Catherine. I understand you've written a new book which is quite unlike your usual genre.
Yes, I was inspired during lockdown. I was watching the news and listening to the number of companies that were closing down and the numbers of jobs that were being lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've read Catherine's previous titles, I'm sure you will agree that we're all in for a real treat. Catherine will be reading a short extract from her new book, Oh What a Tangled Web.
Thank you. I hope you'll enjoy it. All the proceeds will be donated to Job Seekers Unite. It was as though a thunderbolt had hit me. I had not been expecting this. I was speechless. I had worked there for 15 years, since the last of the children had gone to senior school, witnessed the company grow and expand, worked my way up to become senior secretary to the managing director, arranged company golf days, Christmas and anniversary celebrations, remembered his family birthdays, collected his kids from school and his dry cleaning. I had worked late when needed and gone in at weekends. And then, wanting to expand, the MD decided to amalgamate with a manufacturing company. Within a year they had bought him out, closed down our offices, moved everything to Berkshire, which was a 4-hour return journey. We all had strong objections, but it was obvious that the decision had already been made and no amount of argument was going to change their minds. My initial reaction was anger and disbelief, which then turned to self-pity and resentment. My husband's job was in the Midlands. I just couldn't give up and move. Being one of the longest serving employees, I was to get a good redundancy package, but that did nothing to relieve my financial worries. Our daughter was to be married that August, and with the other one in the final year of university, not to mention the mortgage, we were barely making ends meet as it was. I was going to have to find something, and quickly. I was 49 at this point, and getting to that very difficult age when companies no longer look at you with very much interest. I quickly registered with recruitment agencies around the area, was asked to fill in assessment forms and take typing speed tests to gauge my suitability. After 6 weeks, I had the humiliation of signing on. I had never been without a job, and the woman who interviewed me had a look of boredom on her face as she went through the questionnaire with complete indifference. She handed me a photocopied list of the rules and requirements expected of me in the pursuit of suitable employment. It was a full-time job, just being unemployed. Thank goodness for computers. I typed up a CV which could be tweaked to suit and sent off to any suitable job I could find. I noted each one in my diary because nowadays you don't get a reply of any kind, not a no thank you or we'll keep you on our records. Nothing. You wait anxiously for the closing date, give it a couple of days, and then all your time and effort count for nothing. Zilch, dinarda. Every 2 weeks I would bundle all the applications into a folder and trudge off to the job centre, taking the folder with me to prove I had actually been looking for work. The wedding day arrived, and we had the best weather we could have wished for. It was a beautiful venue, and the wedding was perfect. We stayed overnight in a lovely stone cottage in the little village of Lower Slaughter in the Cotswolds. It was next morning at breakfast when I switched on my mobile that I saw a message sent yesterday. It was from one of the agencies asking if I would be free for maternity cover at Loudoun University. I phoned as soon as I could and explained why I had missed the call and to say I could start tomorrow. With the address in hand, I made my way to the bursar's office, where a lovely lady called Dawn escorted me to my office. She explained that Gemma was on maternity leave and they were desperate for cover. She introduced me to my colleagues and explained where everything was. The work was straightforward. We looked after senior lecturers, attending meetings, typing up the minutes, letters, entering details of students on the database, dealing with accommodation, holidays, the usual stuff. My only worry was shorthand. Having not used it for over 12 years, it was rusty to say the least, but Dawn assured me that she didn't use it much either. At the end of the year, Gemma popped into the office prior to her return, bringing the baby in with her so we could all have a cuddle. She had decided to come back on a part-time basis, and so I was asked if I would like to stay on. I was delighted. I needed to be added to the university payroll, so they asked me to take my qualification certificates to the bursar's office and complete the necessary forms to confirm my payment grade. My certificates were years old. The minimum requirement was English, maths, typing speed of 80 and shorthand of 60. Well, typing and English were not a problem, but maths and shorthand were. My certificate from college said shorthand was preliminary grade 1 and I had no maths at all. I couldn't lose this job. I could do it. I had been doing it. What was I going to do? I started to panic. An idea began to grow. What if I just tweaked the numbers? What if I could make a new certificate? Could I use the computer to replicate the old one? I could have a go. I was certain I could do it, and I always like a challenge. I said nothing to my husband or to anyone else, and sitting at the computer started experimenting with fonts and designs. With great patience and many attempts, I finally had a document that was almost identical. I replaced the shorthand speed to a modest 60 words a minute and added business studies before English and music. I had to add the signatures to the bottom and carefully, ever so carefully, practiced until it was near to the original as I could make it. I reasoned that these people would probably be dead by now and exams had changed, so the chances of them being checked was almost zero. I felt a real pride in my achievement, and adding it to my GCE certificates put them all into the original brown envelope. I sat in the bursar's office with butterflies in my stomach, heart pounding and palms moist, waiting for her to finish through the completed forms. She asked if I had my certificates. I produced the brown envelope. "I expect these will be somewhat out of date by now," she said with a kindly smile. "Yes," I managed to reply. She hardly gave them a second glance, only commenting on music. "What do you play?" "Piano," I replied, "but not very well." She popped them back into the envelope and returned it to me. "I hope you'll be happy here," she said. "Thank you. I've enjoyed the last year here very much." And she shook hands and I left. I hoped I had got away with it. It is, and always will be, my guilty secret, I thought, as I took the brown envelope and buried it at the bottom of my bag.
And did she get away with it?
Well, you'll have to read the book to find out. It's available in all good bookstores.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope your book is a great success. Ladies and gentlemen, Catherine Romilly.